Hi, Kat. How are you?
Hi, Sue. I'm so good. It's a pleasure to be here.
Very nice to meet you. So yeah, I'm Sue or Suhaila from Temple of Geek. I'm really excited to talk about Star People with you. I watched it recently and I loved the story that was in it. One of the things I really enjoyed was that each character seemed to be chasing or searching for something in their story, whether it's like home, belonging, purpose. For Claire, on the surface, she's chasing the lights from her childhood, but there's definitely more there at a deeper level. What do you think Claire was chasing and why?
Oh my God, I love that question. I think that Claire is, her desire to search for validation in the stars comes from this like trifecta of traumatic events with something going on with her family, something going on in her body, and something going on in the sky. And I think that she ultimately, if this is not a huge spoiler, I think she's really just searching for validation to that experience. I think she's looking for an answer to why that happened and what's on the other side of all of those feelings that were so instrumental to she became as an adult.
Yeah, and looking for that validation in a second and repeating that experience as well, I thought was really interesting. And if Claire hadn't had that second experience with the lights that we see out in the desert, do you think she would have continued her search, or do you think that experience that she had in the desert with her brother and Ricardo and Gabby have been enough for her to healed her in a way so that she could move on and move forward?
I would like to think that she would be able to take all of those lovely signs of her people around her on the ground, informing her journey and sort of breaking into that singular focus and like trauma response that she was so activated by. But I don't know, it can be so powerful when you decide that your purpose in life is one thing. It's very, very hard to stop that train. It might have taken the sky breaking open for her to actually see what's around her.
Yeah. And I also loved like her relationship with her brother there as well, and how this was a chance for them to reconnect. Because we obviously don't see a lot. There's a big time jump from when they were kids to when, the events that we see in the movie. But it was the context, from seeing them interact was kind of filled in enough, but there was definitely like a break there somewhere in their relationship and this experience and the extreme sort of like heat wave that they were going through and, some of the stuff that they were dealing with as well, once they meet Ricardo and Gabby was something that kind of brought them together. Can you talk a little bit more about that relationship as well?
The brother relationship?
Yes,
Yeah.
the brother and sister relationship there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like I love about this character that literally the vulnerabilities of her body are the reason she has to enlist humans by the recommendation of her doctor. Like she wouldn't have chosen to value reconnecting with her brother, although she does know she's all her brother has. So, he calls in sort of kismet timing, and then also her hookup situationship is someone she decides to bring along just because she's been prescribed company of other humans. Um, but I think that with McCabe, who plays Taylor in the film, her sibling dynamic, I drew a lot from my real life sibling dynamic with my little brother. I left home when I was like 17 or earlier to be a dancer in New York City. So there's a huge gap of time between when I actually touched base with him again. And he has
Mm.
gone from being like this kid that we thought would be like creative, who knows what he's going to do, to just being like a brilliant mathematic human who's a coder or something now. And so I've missed years of his life where he became his own person, but we still can slot in with like three sentences to really speak to each other because we share so much history, whether or not we revisit it or honor it or anything. So I drew from that with McCabe, and I think that, yeah, no matter how much you want to admit you're like your sibling, there's some unspoken language there. And I think we both really played that.
Yeah, no, it was played beautifully and like how they fell in kind of in sync with each other really quickly there. It spoke to how well they knew each other, even when there was that gap. And I love that you brought in your experience with your own brother for that dynamic as well. It was very, very beautifully portrayed. I one of my favorite parts of of the movie for
Thank
sure.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Um, were there parts of Claire, well, I mean, you mentioned, but I'll ask the question anyways. Were there any parts of Claire as a character or her story that resonated with you personally?
Totally. I think the singular focus is a big thing. Like, I don't, we all sort of do what we're doing without really investigating what we're doing. But I have had a very singular focus drive towards being a dancer most of my life. That's translated to being an actor and a musician. But I'm sure that was informed by some trauma as a little kid, like Claire, because it's like you can't disrupt that level of focus. And I think that I'm in a place in my life where I'm starting to realize that it really is about the journey and the people you meet along the way, and that it's not just about that singular goal of what you find or what you achieve.
Mhm.
So I that really spoke to me. I also love that it's a female-bodied person who's written to take like very bad care of herself. I identify as non-binary, and I brought a lot of that to this role, but I immediately loved about the writing of Claire that she chugs a lot of Fanta and like doesn't have, she's not like drinking a smoothie and having like a Pinterest goji berry fruit bowl in the morning. Like she does
Yeah.
not take care of herself. All she cares about
Mhm.
is finding these aliens, and even her personal relationships are not really, she doesn't seek out what she deserves, I suppose, or she's not trying to. She
Mhm.
just cares about this thing. And
Yeah.
I really relate to that. Like I hardly know how to cook, and I'm learning, but I
Same.
just thought it was like a beautifully written female bodied lead. Like it,
Mhm.
it it was really refreshing to read.
That's awesome. And one of the things that Adam mentioned in my interview with him is how her space that we see in the very beginning before they go off on the adventure is very like empty. Like there's nothing personal in it. It's just like the things that she needs to survive and to go off and, search for the lights, and that's kind of it.
Yes,
Which
and then
which
this very low maintenance fish, which also I loved about Adam's preparation for this film with Adrian and the color story of being blue and orange. Oh my God, look at me go.
Mhm.
It's warm and cool tones. But the orange and the Fanta, the fish and the Fanta are like the two orange things in this otherwise very blue space, which also
Mhm.
spoke to me as being like a very functional color. Like she's very like blue is the color of the sky and it's what I wear to go like I loved the way she was written as a human. Like she came off the page as a
Mhm.
human to me, not just like as the idea of a girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that as well. And speaking to dancing a little bit, I wanted to talk about that floating scene that you had where after Claire has her seizure, and we also see it kind of like really in the beginning, once we transition from the past to the present. How is it filming that scene? Because there was like movements in there that do seem like they're, now that you mentioned dancing, like I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that does seem like there's like there's rhythm, and there's sort of, yeah, some dance movements that were put in there, and I'm assuming it was filmed underwater. That's what it looked like to me,
It
but I'd
was.
love, yes.
Oh my God. All I can
Yeah, I'd
say
love for
is
you to
that
talk about that
being
process.
a lifelong concert professional dancer could not have prepared me for this underwater cinematic experience. It was amazing. We shot it in this pool here in LA. This guy, I wish that I remembered his name right now. I'm so sorry. But he strictly does underwater cinematography and photography. And I learned that there is an incredible skill level to doing this because you essentially have to release all of the air from your body in order to sink long enough to be underwater for this
Oh.
photography, which is,
Hmm.
as you can imagine, very counterintuitive to staying alive.
Hmm.
So I tried to learn this. I'm very comfortable with the water. I'm a water sign. I've played a mermaid. I've been in lots of bodies of water that most people wouldn't go into. And this was a very difficult experience.
Hmm.
So I was like carrying weights down to the bottom of this pool and then doing movements on the way up. But it was amazing. I had so much fun. It was a great way to like revisit the cast and the film after we had wrapped the whole narrative story.
Oh, wow. So it was filmed like very like after everything else
Yeah,
was
I think we
done.
were
That's
like a month
cool.
away from making the movie, and because we had shot everything else in Arizona, so we did that all in the
Hmm.
desert, and it was very cool also that it was so separate from the movie because it felt like a different color of Claire, and that was definitely
Yeah.
informed by being underwater. Yeah,
Yeah, it came together beautifully.
and
I
like
love it.
shout out, even if it didn't, even if it was horrible, shout out the fact that it's not AI, like
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
magical.
Yeah. And another thing that you brought into this movie was your songwriting in vocals, which was for a track called Constellation for Star People. Can you talk about bringing your musical talent into this movie and what it was like putting that track together?
Oh my God, it was so fun. So I'm just grateful that Adam is a lover of music. He found Reza, who made the whole soundtrack, which is amazing and such a character in the film. It's like the perfect pairing to the landscape that we're shooting in.
Mhm.
Um, but writing the song was so fun because I write music for my own project all of the time. And this was just very cool to work with the sonic language that Reza had already established for the soundtrack. And then
Mhm.
I was writing the lyrics from the perspective of my favorite parts of the script. So if you ever like decide to get really geeky and, dissect the lyrics, they're all moments from the story that were really a no-brainer to put into the first person retelling
That's
from Claire's
awesome.
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to like go back and rewatch the movie once it comes on streaming. And yeah, I'll definitely be listening into that track. So a last fun question. If you were to ever encounter some otherworldly extraterrestrial experience, kind of like what Claire went through, what do you think your reaction would be?
I think I would do the same thing. I think I would be so compelled to want to see it up close. I mean, this is a very weird, fun answer, but I had a dream the other day that there was a tiny mouse in my hands, and now I'm on a hunt to hold a tiny mouse. So I think that anytime you have like an experience that super moves you, that feels out of this world in any way, like more power to you if you choose to pursue that feeling and to get closer to it.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very human thing to keep searching for the things that have like touched us in a way, or things that we even like don't have an explanation for that we want to understand. Very
Yeah,
human for
may
sure.
we
Yeah.
always latch on to magic.
Curiosity. Yes, exactly. Yep. And let our curiosity guide us. And to end off the interview, what is next for you? I see there's a couple songs that have been released recently, and there's an EP that's on the horizon. Would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, I'm so excited about my EP Glassjaw. The latest single is called Dancer. It is, even though I've spent my life as a dancer, it's through the metaphor of a boxer. So it's this really amazing. I'm so fucking proud of this film that we made for the song that I also co-directed with some other professional dancers. And we're gonna have a big accumulating mini tour with big shows in LA and New York on October 6th and 15th. So please come get your tickets if you want to meet live. I'll sign your Star People posters and
Oh, that sounds like a ton of fun, and I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much for your time. I think we're at time now, but thank you so much for speaking with me today. Great movie. I can't wait for more people to watch it. It's already in theaters, hopefully on streaming soon. Thank you so much, Kat.
it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.